I get to make another hermit crab video. They're still alive. That's so awesome. I cannot believe it. They are still alive and prevailing, and I'm not sure if they're growing yet, but they seem to be happy. Um, so I'll go through it with you and make the video, and I hope you're having a good evening. And this is their world that I made for them. What I have are two different types of crabs. They're both hermit crabs, if you haven't seen my other videos. I have a pink and a blue shelled crab. Yes, I'm trying so hard to get them to shed that shell, but I just can't. I've offered them all sorts of shells. You can see over there, I've definitely put some different shells out for the offering, small all the way up to large, because from what I've read, their species likes to test shells out and will go back to other shells if they don't feel comfy. So what I've done is taken some shells that my mother and I got over 20, 30 years ago when we used to walk the beaches of Florida to get a tan. And now I get to utilize them up in here because they've got lots of stuff to grab onto. Ouch. This little bridge thing right here that you see is made out of that horrible cage they sent these guys home in. And I hot glued every single little prickly thing because I don't want anything to hurt them. But I cut it in half and put it in there. And if you can't see, I've got both salt and water, regular water there. The color of the shells always remind me which is what. But I've yet to see them in that freaking water. Now, what I have done when they are out, I have picked up my own fingers and put them on and then let the crab walk over my fingers. So at least the worried mama and me knows that they've got at least a drip of water. Because I can't catch them doing anything. I can't catch anything. But I've got some really good looking, fortunately it's good looking, old aquarium tank leaves left over. I have this right here. I bought a bunch of shells that turns out I couldn't use a long time ago, but I always kept this, and it's a little tiny basket with little spools, so they've got lots of little things to grab onto, and they get plenty of exercise in doing so, because they get around in this little aquarium, and it may be only 10 gallons, and I know people will say, oh, 20 and 30 hermit crabs have the ability to walk 10 miles a day. I had the ability to walk 10 miles a day. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Ever. So what I've maintained is to be as original, like as much as their species would be like on the islands that they come from. We've got the coconut mulch. We've got the this grass here. I can't remember what it is. It's some kind of moss. I can't remember the word for it. Moss. And that we repurpose and go in a circle. So when they're out, I sort of just generate it. That way, if you can, I'll show you that in a second. But over here, anyway, underneath is the two waters that they need, salt water and regular everyday water that we put in for our fish tanks. All the sand is the sand already bought with that crap in it. And then we have play sand here as well that was recommended online. There are so many different wrong things on the boardwalk. And if you've watched the other videos that I have filmed, we are slowly learning, like what sand, they sent us home with this, a cage that I chopped up and hot glued. But when I looked online through National Geographic, the sand looks exactly like this. Why? It helps them move a little bit right before they're ready to shed their shell. So both sands are in that. Both dirts are in here. And then what happens when I clean up, I put it on top, and then it ends up over there. But these are all brand new pieces. And I like to keep this fresh because I've seen my one that I call my girl, who's in a pink shell, eat it. It stays fairly damp. So I could see, yeah, all right, you want to eat that? That's okay. I've seen my boy one, my so-called boy one, who's got a very dark Superman blue on him. He's very active when he's active. Oh my goodness, he is very social with Bob and I. He's not afraid of anything, and he gets around a lot while I'm awake and playing with him. If I don't wake him up and play with him, he doesn't do it right. He just, I don't know what he does. He's awake underneath. Like he burrows out a hole and spins it when I'm looking at him. Pick him up and play with him, and he's as social as anything. And then he'll play for 2 or 3 hours. Just going around in those circles and eating this and eating food. Okay, so we'll go to the food, which is right there at their level. So if they even just like crawl over it, they can smell it. Those little dots aren't poop. What they are is me overcompensating with hermit crabs. Okay? It's got the fresh fruits, watermelon, cantaloupe, melon, hermit crab. Those little dots are beta bites, and when you wet them, they're very, very smelly, and they're useful for their color, and their color really has nothing to do with it. The smelly part, I'm hoping, attracts them to the food. The stuff they sent home with us, they said was that most horrible stuff to give hermit crabs. Now, I've seen them both eat the moss and a piece of apple, and a good bit, and it's very interesting watching them. It's very, very interesting. So let me take you over here. You're going to hear a little bit of noise because you're on a pole. Okay. Let's see where you are. Okay, let's get you into the right place so you can see everything. This is their sleeping area. And what you see is a broken terracotta pot right there. Why is that important? I don't know why. But 2 or 3 times. The first time I kept it in because it was cute. There's nothing to the back of it. It's just a little arch. And I just thought it would be another place for them to crawl over, hang out, just cuddle up with, do what hermit crabs do. That little booger pulled all this stuff out of the back of that, chucked it up onto his food, went down inside, came back up and made some more mess, digging stuff around. And then he sleeps for a day and a half. So they're getting exercise one way or the other. But this is the moss and the dirt and everything, like I said. When I clean it up, this goes over top. The fresh stuff goes here because she's eating that. And this just sort of just regenerates itself. Eventually, most of this will be dirt and sand and shells, and I guess they poop in there too. I haven't seen a poop or two in a day or so. I don't know where they're pooping the past couple days. They got pooped out this long. Isn't that great for a hermit crab video? Nothing's bothered them. The dog, the cat, the fish, we've even got this going on. I don't know anything if they're molting, if they're sleeping. I've already been pinched. It's kind of cute. It really is. Because I'm an old lady, right? And it's not that they were falling. My hand crinkles up a little bit, right? And I had them like that. And the little bugger bit me. Or pinched me. I was waiting for it, and I thought, man, I'd have to take the day off. Because I was bit by a hermit crab. I guess it's that big boardwalk sign that said, don't touch them, they bite. You don't bite, they pinch. They pinch. There's a really cool shell right there. And what it is a twisty twirl. And that's another good grabby thing for them. So they do. Even though this isn't a 10-mile tank, there is plenty for them to do, to be with, to experience. We've got the humidity going on. So, you know, even if they needed a whole bunch of stuff, like I said, 20 or 30 gallons is not going to make the difference whether they're happy or not. They were hanging off a tree when we found them. We got a boy and a girl. We had no clue. So right now, for the time being while we're learning, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I keep them safe. I keep them clean. They're very, very interesting. I was hoping one would come out because I saw. It's funny, the grass goes it almost has a breath when they're coming out or digging in. But the one's right there, and I know the other one's right in there. The light goes on and off during the day. And that's about it. That's about it. That's the best update I can give you. They're played with. They're exercised. They've been seen eating. I've caught the blue one actually on camera. I tried to do a thing overnight and catch him, but my phone didn't work out as well as I thought it was. But when you speed it up, oh my god, it's so cute. It is absolutely so cute. It's a silly little hermit crab. So they're as cozy as possible. They've got everything that is required within reason. Like I said, I'm not getting a 20-gallon tank, 30-gallon tank for 2 crabs right now. Just because somebody said they could walk 10 miles. Shit. I haven't walked 10 miles in my damn 50 years. So no crab is going to outwalk me. They're going to be comfy. So that's about it. They still don't have names. They don't have names. They got plenty of places to place food. And they're happy. So any feedback is great. I don't think they're stressed. I don't see any stressed behavior that I've seen online. I wish she was a little bit more active. I'd like to find out what these 2 crabs are. I gotta keep looking up stuff. Alright, talk to you guys later.